I'm doing some testing just to check if everything's good. I'm doing some testing. Okay, yeah, sounds good. So I think I should start in like 30 seconds, okay? Let me prepare everything. Okay, yeah, I think I have everything here. Okay, so I think it's time to start. So I like to welcome everyone. I mean, not only people live, I guess people will start coming now, but also people watching this video, I mean, in the future on YouTube. Okay, so you know that this is a series of webinars where I'm teaching how to master Codoozer. Okay, so, and this is lesson 7. Okay, so if you're new to this webinar series, I would recommend to start watching the previous webinars, okay, especially the first 3 webinars. I always say this, but they are very important because in those videos I explain basically the philosophy of Codoozer and how everything works. Okay, so after those 3 videos, I have explained more complex things or more advanced, I mean, cool features of Codoozer. Okay, but they are always using the same methodology. Okay, so it's really important that if you're new to these videos, you should really consider watching the first 3 videos. Okay, so well, today we are going to talk about maps. Maps are very important in a lot of apps. Okay, you know, big apps like, well, not WhatsApp, but you know, there are a lot of like Uber, like, well, a lot of a lot of famous apps, they use maps. Okay, because maps are very important to locate where, I mean, maybe where your food is, where your taxi is, or I mean, a lot of different things. Okay, so in the previous webinars, we learned how to use databases. I mean, not local databases, but online databases with Firebase. Okay, so then we learned how to create user accounts, how to take pictures. Okay, so with all that, I mean, if you learned everything from last previous webinars, you should be able now to create super advanced apps with Codoozer. Okay, but then now today we are going to learn another important thing. Okay, because if you want to create some social app, maybe you are going to need to create maps. Okay, or if you want to create a food delivery app for your restaurant or for your customers' restaurant, things like that. Okay, you might need to use maps in your app. Okay, so that's what we are going to learn today. Okay, and they are not going to be just maps. The great thing about this is that we are going to use our Google map in our screen, in a view inside our app, and we're going to connect this map to a real-time database with Firebase. Okay, I think it was 2 webinars ago, I think, when we learned how to use online databases. Okay, so I mean, they are shared databases. Okay, so if we have like a lot of users in our app, they can access the same database in real time. So now we can also add a map in our app, so the app listens to the same database. Okay, so imagine that we want to have I mean, we are maybe the company owner, and we are delivering food. We have a chain of restaurants, for example. Okay, we could put an app on every delivery guy's phone. Okay, so they could be like transmitting their location like every minute, and we as owners of the business, we could see where our delivery guys are in any second. Okay, and also for the customer, if we create the customer app where maybe they order food, the customer could see where the delivery guy is. Okay, so well, these things is what we are going to learn today. Okay, how to move things on maps based on databases. Okay, so well, I'm going to use the same project we were using for the last webinars. This was the lesson 4 project. Here we had all the things to edit the profile, things like that. Okay, but today I'm not going to use that. So basically we had this main view after the login screen. So I'm going to probably get rid of this. And yeah, I think I can remove this, or yeah, let's remove this. And I'm going to add just one component that is called map. Okay, you see now, well, it has width 100% and height by default 300 density points. Okay, so I'm going to use them as a full screen map. So I'm going to use height of 100%. And what else? Well, it should be full screen. Oh, okay, this map, no, okay, I have this main body, okay, with a padding. This is why my map is here. So let me get this map out of the body and remove this body. Okay, so now, okay, now I have this map is full screen. Okay, you don't see anything here, but you see this message. It says you must set your Google Cloud Platform API key. Okay, the thing is that if you want to use Google Maps, I mean, on any website or any app, or I mean anywhere, every time the user uses your interface, your app in this case, since you are requesting information from Google Maps, you have to tell Google who you are as a developer. Okay, so I mean, if you create this app, if the user moves the map or tries to load a map, okay, you're the developer of your app, so you have to use your developer account. Okay, so I mean, you know that I mean, Google Maps is a free services. I mean, it's a free service for small websites. But if you start having a lot of traffic, you will have to pay Google, okay, for using Google Maps. Okay, that doesn't happen on Android apps. If you develop an Android app, it's always free. But the thing is that Google needs to know who's requesting information from Maps. Okay, so we are going to need this API key. So we will include that API key in our app so that when the app connects with Google, the app will tell who you are as a developer. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to create this API key. So, well, you can basically click here in this link and you will get some instructions. Okay, but I mean, you don't have to memorize these instructions. In fact, I never do. You just click to here, go to the console.cloud.google.com, and that's basically all. So the thing is that I'm not sure if you're familiar with, well, I guess not, with Google Cloud Platform, but basically Google Cloud Platform is all the services that Google provides for developers to put. I mean, it's like imagine Google not as the search engine or the Google Maps, but Google Cloud Platform is like the company that provides hosting for a lot of websites. Okay, or developers, companies. I mean, a lot of companies are using. I mean, some other companies are using Amazon. Some others are using local hosting providers. Okay, but Google is a super big hosting provider. Okay, so you can install your web apps here, I mean, a lot of things. Okay, so, and the thing is that you know Firebase already from previous webinars. So, well, Firebase is using the Google technology behind. Okay, and the Google technology is this, is Google Cloud Platform. Okay, so whenever you create a project on Firebase, you are really creating some space on Google Cloud Platform. Okay, so here you can select a project and you will see here all the projects, including the ones that we created on Firebase. This is the one we used in the last webinar, the lesson 4. So I'm going to select this one. Okay, so you have to make sure that here on top you have your project selected. Okay, so, well, now we should go to, I think it's here. I should find maps. Okay, you see here Google Maps. Click on Google Maps. Okay, and here you have the Maps API services. So you should look for Maps SDK for Android. Click on it and enable. You have to enable this API. Well, it might take some 30 seconds, something like that. Okay, now we have enabled Google Maps for this project, for lesson 4. And we need to go here for credentials. Okay, so well, here we have some credentials, and I think we can use this one for Codoozer. Okay, I'm going to try to use this one, the Android key. Okay, this should be enough. But well, you can add a new credential only for Google Maps if you want. Okay, there should be some place to create a new credential, I think, but no, there's not. Yeah, okay, since we have Maps SDK for Android selected here, I guess we cannot add more, so we can use this Android key. Okay, so copy this Android key, go back to the Codoozer, and well, you can click here on set Maps API key, or you can go to app. I mean, if you click here, this is only a link to app. Then you see this new parameter here. It is inside the Android. So, I mean, normally this is removed, but you have to click on plus button, click on Maps API key, and then paste this API key. Okay, so that's all you need to know in order to integrate maps on your app. Okay, so let's go back to main view. Okay, and well, you don't see the map here. This is only a JavaScript thing. Okay, but since we have 100% width and 100% height, we know that the map is taking the whole screen. Okay, you will see that as soon as we install the app. Okay, well, in fact, we could do it right now, but yeah, no, I don't think we should waste time. I mean, believe me, there will be a map on the app. Okay, so well, this is the map component. I'm going to call it like my map. And here you have all the parameters you can use for your map. Okay, so well, there's some like let me check, like the background or the if, margin, on click, yeah, padding, position, okay, be aligned, visible. Okay, those are, you know, those are common for all the components. Okay, but then you can find some other parameters which are specific for maps. Okay, like allow scroll, allow tilt, allow zoom. Okay, these are, I think there's one on top. Let me, no, hold on one moment. Let me add the on click. Yeah, I think there's some problem with the scrolling. Okay, this first option was hidden. Okay, but you have the allow rotation, the allow scroll, allow tilt, and allow zoom. Okay, so these are in case you want to add some constraints on the map. Okay, for example, by default, you can move the map so the user can scroll the map. But if you want to lock the map, you can select this allow scroll parameter. By default, it's true, or even if it doesn't exist, but you can make it false. Okay, so in this case, the user won't be able to move the map. Okay, so you are going to show only one region of the map. Okay, so that's the same for allow rotation. I mean, if you always want north to be on top of screen, you can set allow rotation and false. Then you have allow tilt, allow zoom. Okay, that's obvious. If you don't want to let the user to, to do the pinch movement or gesture, okay, you can disable it. Okay, by default, all of those are true. Okay, so if you don't use these parameters, then you are allowing the user to use rotation, scroll, tilt the map, and the other one, the zooming. Okay, then you have the buildings. If you want to show buildings on the app, you can set it to true. Okay, you know that the Google Maps have some buildings. So yeah, I think by default they are true, but maybe, if you want to save like connection, data consumption to the user, you can disable buildings. Okay, then the app will be a bit faster and there will be less data consumption. Okay, so you can set it to false, for example. Then you have the compass. Okay, this is, by default, I think it's true. I'm not sure. Okay, but you can disable the compass on the map. Then you have, okay, I will talk about this later. Enable location, this is important. Okay, if you, by default, it's false, but you can, normally you are going to need it. So normally you want to add the enable location and set it to true. Okay, this means that if you put this to true, then on the map there will be a button so that the user can click on that button and go to the user's location. Okay, so because by default the map is centered, I think in latitude and longitude 0.0. So if you click if you add this enable location, then you will see this button on the screen, so you can go to your current location. Okay, in a moment we are going to learn other things, how to center the map. Okay, so yeah, but normally you will need this. For most apps, if you are using, if you are going to create like a food delivery app or something like that, normally you want to go directly to your location. Okay, then we have this map toolbar. Okay, this is, I think I'm not sure if by default is true, but if you set this to true, then you will see every time you click on a marker on the map, you will see here on the bottom right corner, you will see two buttons so that you can click on them and go to the Google Map app. Okay, so and locate that same marker on the Google Maps app. Okay, in case you want to get directions on and find the place, more information about the place, things like that. Okay, then we have the indoor, which is, in those places where Google Maps provides information about indoor places, okay, like convention centers, supermarkets, things like that. Okay, you can use them. Okay, but well, if you don't use them, then you will save some data consumption. Okay, then you have the map type, which here, by default, it's normal, the typical Google Maps map, but you can change it to satellite or terrain or hybrid. Okay, in case you want to see the mountains or, see how, the height of every place, things like that. Okay, then we have, yeah, you have the max zoom and min zoom. Okay, these are good in case you want to limit the range of zooming that the user can have. If you don't want, let me open the maps. Okay, you know that on Google Maps you can do like a super zoom out and see the whole world. Okay, so if you want to avoid this in your app, okay, you should set a min zoom. Okay, so for example, if you set a min zoom of 12, then 12 is a bit far, but it's not that far. Okay, I'm not sure how 12, but maybe 12 is something like this. Okay, and I think this should be, yeah, I think here you have the zooming 15 close. If you want to see like street level, this is like 17, 18. Okay, so yeah, 12 is something like this. Okay, and what else? Well, you can also set the max zoom in case you don't want the user to get really close to the places. You can also make restrictions here. Okay, what else? You have the traffic in case you want to show like how the traffic is at that moment, and then zoom controls. So I mean, these, I think by default they are off or they are false. So this is in case you want to add the plus and minus buttons on the screen so the user can zoom in and zoom out. Okay, this is useful in case you are creating an app where the user is going to only use one hand. Okay, for example, if this app is for the food delivery guy and he's driving, or I mean he's not driving, I mean he cannot use the phone while driving, you know, but maybe he has all the pizzas in one hand and he needs to find the location. Okay, if you put these buttons, then he will be able to just with one finger he will be able to zoom in and zoom out. Okay, because if you don't put these buttons, then he won't have two fingers to zoom in or zoom out. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so basically these are the properties, and then we have some extra parameters. Okay, so we have some events. You see all the things that start with on, like on changed, on marker click, and on ready, and then the on click. Okay, these are events that we can control over the map. Okay, so well, the on click event, you already know that one. So basically this is, I mean, if the user clicks on the map, you can get information about where the user clicked. Okay, the latitude and the longitude where the user clicked. Okay, we will see that later. But you can react to that. Okay. For example, imagine that you have some dialogue on the screen or some info bar, and you want to remove that bar when the user taps on the map. You can do that with the on-click event. Okay, so then we have the on-ready event. This is super important. Okay, the thing is that when you use a Google map on your app, when you enter this view, the app will have to connect with Google, okay, and the app will send your API key to Google, and Google will take maybe 1 second or half of a second to respond. Okay, so during that time you don't have the location, you don't have all the information. So when the map is ready, so Google responded, then this event will be called. Okay, so you can start doing things when this event is called. Okay, so when the map is ready to be used, then here you can do all the things you want, like change locations or, you know, do things. Okay, we will see this also. Then we have this event called the unchanged. This event will be called every time you scroll the map or you zoom in or you zoom out. Okay, so I mean, every time the view changes, then this event will be called. Okay, I mean, not every, I mean, if you are scrolling, it won't be called every time, I mean, during the time you're scrolling, but as soon as you stop scrolling, then this event will be called. Okay, so I mean, this is super useful as well. And then we have the on marker click. So this event is called whenever, I mean, if you have some markers or some places, points of interest on your map, whenever the user clicks on one of them, this event will be called. Okay, and you will be able to know in what marker the user clicked. Okay, So, well, what else? Then we have the, let me check. Yeah, this one. And this is the super parameter, the data source. Okay. So with the data source this is, I mean, this is the key parameter. This is with, you know, the source parameter in some components. I mean, it's for telling where the map is going to take all the resources. Okay, but here on the map we call it data source. Okay, so here we are going to tell the app where to take data from. Okay, so if we want to show markers on the map, for example, if we are going to create like a list of restaurants or something like that, we could have all the restaurants in one database, and then it will, I mean, the map will connect with that database in order to get all the information and put it on the map. Okay, so this is the, I mean, it's super important. This is what we are going to do now. Okay, well, for maps you can create, I mean, you can use Firebase databases, or you can use local databases. Okay, well, I haven't explained how to use local databases in this webinar series yet. But we talked about Firebase real-time databases. So today we are going to use Firebase databases, okay? Not local, but with locals it's going to work the same, okay? I guess in the future we will do some webinar about local databases, but I mean the maps are going to work the same, okay? But the cool things about online databases, I mean connecting our map to Firebase, is that if we put our markers on the database, our map is going to keep listening to the database. Okay, so it will be real time. You know that Firebase databases are real time. So you will see this today, but whenever we do some change on the database, since the map is going to be listening to that database, the change is going to be shown on the map in real time. Okay, so this is super useful in case you want to create like an Uber app or a taxi app, something like that. So you can have all the cars moving around the map in real time. Okay, so imagine that every car driver has an app, and I mean, from the app he's changing its location like every 30 seconds. I mean, when changing location, I mean putting the current location on the database. Okay, so if you put all those locations in the same collection in your database and this map listens to that collection, then you will see how cars move around the map. Okay, so this is what we are going to do now. So, well, we have this Firebase project, I mean, from previous lessons. Okay, you know, we had these users. Okay, so, well, we are going to create a new collection. It's going to be like, I don't know, delivers maybe. Okay, and we will start adding things on the map, and then we will see how they change. Okay, so let's start working on that. So, well, for me it's going to be, I mean, this is my project. I already have my Google services from previous webinar. Okay, so I'm going to use some collection called maybe delivers. So that's going to be my source. So the data source is going to be at Firebase dot firestore. This is the database, and then I will have a collection called delivers, for example. Okay. Yeah. Then what I will do is every time I click on the map, then I will add a marker at that point. Okay. But before doing that, I think I forgot to explain a bit more about the onReady event. Okay. And yeah, and I think I forgot two parameters. because since they were not here, I just realized of that. They were not here because by default they have some value. You see this, and the center, and the zoom. Okay, these are the initial values for the map. Okay, so here on the center, you can add some coordinates like this. Okay, so this means that your map, I mean, as soon as the map is ready, it will be centered here in this location. Okay, and with this zoom, you can put here like 16. Okay, so well, let me try this. I'm going to export, and I will show you in the app. Okay. Yeah, I think this is easier than the database thing. So let's do this map centering first, and then we will go to the map. Okay. Let me close previous notifications. I always forget to remove them. Okay, let's wait a minute. It's ready. So let me install it. And let me show you my phone. I'm not sure what's happening. It's not loading my phone. Checking visor APK. Okay, now. I guess I already have a open session, so I hope that I don't need to enter the username and password. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so you see this? I mean, the map is on the background, and the app is asking for permission. Okay, this happens because I use the enable location. Okay, whenever you use this, then the phone will need to access location. Okay, this is why it's asking for permission. Okay, because I mean, whenever one Android app needs to access location of the device, I mean, the app cannot do that without the consent of the user. Okay, this is why they ask for permission. Okay, so you can click on allow. Okay, and yeah, what happens here? Yeah, I guess we are in the same. No. Well, almost the same. I don't know why. Maybe, I mean, because this is website and this is app. I don't know. But, well, the location by default is probably this one. And the zoom is 16. Okay, so 16 should be 15. This is... Okay, this is almost like 16. And 3i, 3.8. Okay, the location is different. So let me put this here. Well, in fact, I can change to 16. Okay, now we have the same center here and the same zoom level. Okay, you see this part of the map. Okay, you see that we are in the same location. Okay, so this is because I used an static coordinates for the center and static zoom. Okay, but what if I want to just go to the user location? I mean, now here you see I have this. This is the enable location button. Okay, so if I click here, then it will take me to my location. Okay, now you know where I live. You can send flowers if you want. Okay. I cannot zoom. Well, I cannot zoom. I mean, not nor scroll because I have this allow scroll false. What? And allow, and I cannot rotate the phone. You see? I can zoom in and zoom out, but I cannot scroll. So I'm going to activate them. Okay, so what if I, instead of clicking on this button, I want to show the user location whenever he opens the app? Okay, so let's do that. So instead of using some static coordinates here, you could use something like this. Add property dot like center, something like that. Okay, whenever you start the app, maybe this property won't have any value. In that case, the map won't go to the, to this center. It will be to, it will go to 0,0. Okay, in case this property doesn't have a value. But here on the onReady, we can do this. If this property has a value before the onReady is called, then the map won't be centered in that location. Okay, so you always have to use the onReady event. So here is where you have to set a value for this property. You can use set, then what property dot center, and here you can get the value from the device, like add app dot location. Okay, if you use this app location, then you will get latitude comma longitude, and you will set that to property.center. And since the onReady event is already there, then all the changes, the map will be listening to this property, but after the onReady event is called. Okay, so if we do this, then the map will be always centered in the user location when opening the app. Okay, let me show you. Export, request. Okay, the next step, now we are, always centering the app when the user is located. Okay, so the next step is we are going to remember the location of the user. Oh, what happens here? Let me try again. Property center. Yeah, I think it's only, whenever you try to export to APK and you get an error without information, you should always try again. Okay, because this is, that Codoozer is now in beta version. So we are, in our backend, all this system that is generating the APKs is using just a temporary software. Okay, we want to improve that, but now whenever, sometimes it has to refresh memory, things like that. Okay, so if you try to generate and at that exact moment something happens on the server, you will get an error. So you can just try again. If you try 3 times, 4 times, and it doesn't work, maybe you have an error in your code or in your JSON files. Okay, in that case, you can send us the CTC file to support@dojo.email, and then we can help you. Okay, you see now it works. So let me install it. Should take like 30 seconds, something like that. Okay, I think it's this one. Yeah. Install. You see, it always go to my location. I can close the app. Ah, right, my screen is almost dead and it doesn't really work good. Okay, so let me close the app to force stop. I will open the app again. And you see, it always go to my current location. Okay, so, well, imagine that we want to move the map. And I mean, if we close the app like here, what if we want to open the app and see the same location that last time we closed the app? Okay, how can we do that? So this is the other event, the onChange. Okay, so I told you that whenever you move the map or you zoom in or you zoom out, I mean, when the map stops, then this event will be called. Okay, so here you can save your current location on a cookie, for example. So how can you do that? Let's add the set event. And here we can use a cookie so that next time we open the app, we still have the value. Instead of a property, we use a cookie. Cookie dot, we can use center again. Okay. And you can have a property called center and a cookie called center. Okay, they are different. They are different types of references. So the value is going to be, now it's not going to be app.location. It's going to be element. We're going to get the center of this map. So element dot, then use the ID, my map dot, and I think it's called location. Okay, I'm not sure about this. You can always go to the github.doyotech/wisdom. And I'm not sure if we have that part translated to English. Let me check. Maybe not. Okay, components and map. No, it's in Spanish. Okay, we need to translate this. Okay, I guess during November and December, everything will be translated also in English. Okay, but anyway, we have these properties. I mean, from the map, we can get the click lat, the click longitude, the position, not location, position, visible, and zoom. Okay, so we can do this. What is that? It should be location, but I don't know why it's position. Okay, so if you use add element.mymap.position, then you are going to store here in this cookie the center of the map. Okay, so next time we open the app on the onReady event, we could do something like maybe like this. We could add a function called set at cookie.center, and the value can be app.location, but well, let's put this on top. Okay, here. So we are going to save the app location into the cookie.center, but only if this is the first time we open the app. Okay, so only if cookie.center is null. Okay, this means that we are only going to save this value, the app location, into cookie.center only if cookie.center doesn't exist. Okay, if cookie.center already has a value from previous app session, then this function will be ignored. Then here we can use cookie dot center. Okay, so once you are here in this function, you know that cookie.sender is going to have a value, right? It can have the previous value that we set last time here on this onChange, or it could have the current location in case it didn't have a value. Okay, and we can do the same with the zoom. So here for the zoom we can do property.zoom and do the same. Well, we can, let me clone this function, and that's cookie.zoom value at element.mymap dot, and I guess it's zoom. Let me check. Yeah, zoom. Okay, so every time we change the position of the map or the zoom of the map, we are going to store these values. Okay, and here we're going to do the same. So clone and cookie.zoom, it's going to be like maybe 14, something like that, or 15, only if cookie.zoom is null. Okay, so if cookie.zoom doesn't have a value, then we are going to use this value 15. Okay, and let's clone this one, and property.zoom equals, or it gets the value from cookie.zoom. Okay, you see this, all this movement. Okay, so let's export. And see what happens. Okay. And once we test this, we are going to start doing the database thing. Okay, so in the next exercise, I'm going to do something like maybe we can add one marker on the map every time the user clicks on the map. Okay, and you will see how the database is populated. Every time the user clicks on the map, then you will see data coming into the database. Okay, let's scan the app and show you my phone. Oh. Okay. We had a webinar in like 2 weeks ago, something like that. In that, I mean, it was the same webinars today, but in Spanish. And since, I mean, there were like 15 people live, and they all, I mean, not all of them, but some of them, like 5 or 6 people installed the app. Okay, let me start one moment. So everyone was clicking on the map at the same time, and we all, I mean, all of us were populating the database. So whenever someone clicked on the map, all of, I mean, the other people could see the new marker on the map because it's real time. Okay. So, well, now here by default, you see, this is my zoom 15. I guess, let me check here. Yeah, I guess it's a similar zoom level. Not really. You have the zoom 15. Property zoom. Yeah, something happened with the zoom. Maybe I did something wrong. Cookie zoom is no. Right, anyway, let me move the map. Okay, so now I'm going to move the map. Let's go, for example, let's go to the beach. Yeah, let's go to Denia. I love this town. Okay, so here I'm going to zoom in, maybe to this part of Denia where you can see whales in here, for example. Yeah, here it says hotel or restaurant. Okay, so see, even with a higher zoom. Okay, so now I'm going to close the app, and let me make sure that I really close the app. Okay, so I hope now when I open the app, it should go to that point. No, it's not working. Something happened. Okay, let me check. Or yeah, maybe I didn't install the last version, because when I clicked here, I think I didn't install. I mean, I have the suspicion that I didn't install the last version that I just created. Let me scan again. Oh, my phone is not working. Okay. Okay, well, I'm just waiting if I see the open action here, because sometimes when I open with the notification, it opens a previous APK. Or maybe the documentation was wrong and it was not called position but location. Okay, super slow my phone. It's almost downloaded. Okay, open, install. No, the zoom level is not correct, so something's happening here. Okay, let me close the app. No. No, okay, maybe I did something wrong. Let me check. Ah, sorry, I was not showing the phone, but it was always opening the same location. Okay, so when it's ready, I'm just using the add property.center, value add cookie.center. Okay, property.center. Maybe it's because of this. What? Cookie.center value. I mean, it seems like it's always loading in this location. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I know what is happening. Yes, I'm setting the cookie.center here on the onChange, and maybe this happens at the same time. So I guess I should put this outside, not here in the onReady, but let me copy it and put it in the view in an event. And I could use on the unloaded. I think this is something weird. This should work. I think this should work, but anyway, you can put it here like on preload maybe and add some value. Yeah, something like this. But the application won't work. Yeah, I think this is a great place to put it. Okay. Well, we could add an extra property, but I don't want to do that. I'm pretty sure this is the way it works. On the onReady, on change, we set the cookie.center with the position. Or we could do, let's do this. Instead of this, we are going to set property.center with value cookie. Okay, let's do this. Let's remove the previous one and let's try to do this. Set at property.center with value dot at cookie.center, but only if cookie.center. Oh, okay. I think I know the value there. Yeah, it's not in if is null, but if is not null. Okay. Yeah, so if it's not null, we are going to set this value into this value. And then else, in other cases, then we are going to set at property dot center with the value app dot location. Okay, now this should work. Okay, you see this, what I'm doing? Set property dot center with value cookie dot center only if cookie dot center has a value, if it's not null. Okay. Else, then we are going to use app location. And we should do the same for zoom. Let me just clone this. So set property.zoom with cookie.zoom if cookie.zoom is not null, else set property.zoom and value 16, for example. Okay, I hope this works now. Okay, well, if it doesn't work, then I guess then it's not something I'm doing wrong. Maybe there's some, I mean, maybe we did change something on Codoozer and it's not working properly, so we will fix it. Because I don't want to spend time on this because this is very basic. I want to start going to the database thing. Okay, okay, let's export again. So, well, while it's exporting, I'm going to check if I have some icons because I think I had a car icon, something. Maybe here, not, no. No, I should have a car icon. Okay, if not, I'm going to look for it on Icon Finder. And let's look for car. Okay, and there was one car from top, I think. What is car top? Okay, this one. Okay, I'm going to use this one, like 64 pixels, download. And let's put it here, name it car PNG. Okay, well, I have the app now. Let me install it. My phone screen is not working. Okay. Okay, now I think it's working. Now you see my location in the center, but not the zoom level. Okay. Bah. Why my screen is not working? Ah, okay, maybe it's because I have the min zoom and the max zoom. Ah, okay, maybe. So let's move the map. Let's go to this town. And now I'm going to close the app. Force stop and open the app again. No, something's wrong today. I mean, this should work, believe me. I mean, this is super basic and this should work. Maybe I'm doing some small mistake at some point, but I just don't see it. But basically, this is the technique. On the on-chains, you can save the location into a cookie. Or maybe this is location. Okay, let's try with location instead of position. Maybe the documentation was wrong. Yeah. Yeah, maybe this was a mistake. Okay, I'll do one more test, and if it doesn't really work, then I will go with the database thing. I think it's more important. Okay, well, in the meantime, well, I already have my car PNG, so I'm going to upload it. And since I'm going to use it inside a database, you need to put all these resources or these images in one special folder. You cannot just drag and drop it here. You should create this add a resource, and here what happens? Here you need to add the assets. Wow, what's happening today with this? Huh. Wow. Okay, let me download this CTC. If something weird happens, you should always download the CTC and refresh Codoozer because I don't really like what I'm seeing. Okay. Okay, now click on plus, add assets with 2S, and here now I'm going to Yeah, you see now it works. I'm going to drag and drop the car PNG. Okay, so now I have it here inside the assets folder. Okay, this means that this PNG is going to be stored inside the app even if I don't use it in any component, okay, because I'm going to use it from a database. Okay, this is why you need to put it in the assets folder. So is it generating? So my map is taking data from this collection at firebase.firestore.delivers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a marker every time I click on the map. So I'm going to use the onClick event. So here I want to add something to the database. I want to add a marker. Okay, so well, in this, well, I mean, the collection doesn't exist yet, but I'm going to have a collection here called delivers. So every document in that collection is going to be a marker. Well, it can be a marker or it can be a circle on the screen, okay, or on the map. But I'm going to add a marker. Something's happening here. Okay, so in order to add a document on Firebase, I'm going to use the action add. Okay, so where do I want to add to the same collection? To firebase.firestore.delivers. This is my collection. And here I'm going to add a marker. So if in order to tell the app it's a marker, you need to always use these fields called one is called type and it should be marker. Okay, so with this we are telling the database that we want to add a marker. Then we need to set latitude and longitude. This is with the lat parameter, always lat, L-A-T. And here we need to put the point or the latitude of the point where the user clicked on the map. So we can get this value with this. The map is called my map. So we can use add element dot my map dot and clicked lat. Okay, you have to write it like this with the L in uppercase. Okay, so this is going to give you the position where the user clicked last time. Okay, and the same for longitude. You need to use the LNG, and it's going to be at element dot my map dot clicked LNG. Okay, so only with this we are going to add something in the database. Okay, well now our app is ready. So let me check if the last thing works. Okay, one moment, is installing, downloading. Okay, now it's in the center. Let's go to the Albufera. Okay, now let's close the app. Yeah, now it works. Okay, my mistake. I mean, not my mistake, but the documentation mistake. I was using position property, but I should have used location. So, well, I mean, in fact, it's my mistake because I created the documentation, but okay, I will change that. So yeah, on the onChange, you have to use location, not position, okay? And I think, I mean, this is not here on the location, I mean, on the documentation, but you can also use my map dot, I think it's west, south, north, and east. Okay, this will give you the position of the bounds. Okay, what you see, I mean, this area you see on the screen, you will get all these coordinates. Okay, this is useful in case you want to make searches, things like that. Okay, if you want to connect with some external API, okay, you can send all the boundaries of your map so that you can get only the markers in that position. Okay, so yeah, it was my mistake all the time. And I think with the zoom, I think there's, I mean, it might be some, there might be some bug with the zoom. Okay, I will check that. But I mean, for the position, it worked. Okay, so now on the, I was here on the on click. So whenever I click on the map, I want to add something into the database, to this collection. Okay, so let me export. And it's super easy. I mean, we have spent a lot of time doing all the setting up, but you will see that the database, it's going to be super easy. I mean, and from the map, you can also get not only the, where was it? Oh, okay. Yeah, I changed this. Not only the location, but I think you can also get the latitude or longitude only, in case you want to get, I mean, separated parts of the coordinates. Okay. One moment, it will finish creating the APK and I will test it. Okay. Let me install it. Well, today, since there, I mean, there's no a big audience here, we won't be able to, I mean, to get different people install this app. And I mean, because that happened on the Spanish webinar, but it was super cool because, I mean, I did the same example as today. So, and I think 6 people installed the app. So every time someone was ticking on the map, I mean, everyone was watching the new marker. Okay, you will see. So now I have my map, previous location, and let me go to Firebase. Okay. Well, now you don't see the collection because it doesn't exist. But even if I click here, you see I'm going to click here. Okay, now you see a new marker. Let me refresh Firebase. Okay, now you see the delivers collection with a new document. This is the last one I created, okay, with the coordinates where I clicked on this type marker. So, well, I can click here and you will see a new document in real time. You see? Because I'm adding all these markers into the database, but at the same time, my map is listening to that database, to that collection on the database. So if someone adds a new document, then all the people having an app listening to the same map, then they will see the new document and then the new marker will appear. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same. Okay, so let's go to this same area. Okay, for example, you see this is the same place. I'm going to I want to add a marker in my database in these coordinates. Okay, so let me go back. Well, no, let me copy first. This is latitude. And then you will see that this is super real time. I'm going to add a new document from here, from Firebase, not from the app, okay? So imagine this is another user adding something into the app. So I'm going to add a document with an auto ID. Okay, the field, I'm going to use type as marker. And then I will add lat. And this is going to be a number. Okay, and then a new field called LNG for longitude. And I'm going to copy this number here. Okay, so as soon as I click on save, the new document will be added to my collection. So we should see the marker here. You see? This is real time. Okay, so that could be done with from another user. Okay, so well, what if I change the location from the database? Okay, now I have this new marker. So imagine that I change the location a little bit. You see? Well, it moved a little bit, but not too much. You see? It moved. Okay, so now imagine, now with this, you can imagine some app where all the taxi drivers are sharing the location in real time. Okay, we will see that in, I'm not sure if next webinar, maybe next webinar, we will talk about this feature called jobs. Okay, this will allow us to send locations every 30 seconds, every minute, even if the app is on background. Okay, so we could have an app with taxi drivers sending location and updating this database every 30 seconds. So we would see them moving on the map. Okay, this is super cool, believe me. Okay, but it's not only about the position. We can add some other parameters. So we still have this marker. So what if I add this field called icon? It must be always icon. And what if I use a PNG that it's installed inside the app and in the assets folder? So car.png. Okay, you see? Now the marker is a car. This is super cool, right? So let me get close to the car and change the longitude to minus 2. Okay, now it's almost here on the road. Okay, but you can add more parameters, like I think it's rotation, no, or angle, maybe. And number can be like 45 degrees. No, it's not angle. It's rotation. Yeah, you see the car? Now it rotated. Okay, so well, the thing is that with Codoozer, you can, I mean, with the app, where was it? No, here. Well, we don't only have this app.location. We can also use dot. Wait. Dot latitude only for getting the latitude, but you can also get, I think it's called height, or you can get I'm not sure if it's angle. Okay, I should I mean, we will put all these different properties here on the documentation, okay? But when sending the location of the taxi driver, you can set all these parameters, okay? Not only the location, but also the latitude, the longitude, and the angle or the rotation. I'm not sure about the property name. Maybe I think it's angle, but I'm not sure. Okay, but you should be able to do these kind of things. Okay, so your taxi drivers could always be sending the location, the rotation, the angle, okay, these cool things. Okay, but let's do more things. This is for markers. We have these values, yeah, icon, rotation, anchor H, and anchor V. Okay, this is in case you want to use I mean, to set the center of the icon, okay? But because by default, you see all the other icons, okay? The location is here on the bottom of this icon, okay? That happens also in the car, okay? The center of the car is, the location, the car is here, but the location is here on the bottom. Okay, so if you want to put the car in the middle, imagine that this is a squared PNG. You can use these values called anchor. Well, anchor H is the center or of the icon. It's always 0.5 by default, so we don't really need to change it. But anchor V, we are going to set a number and put it 0.5. This means 50%. This means the middle, vertically speaking, of the icon. So if I change it, you see that it moved. Okay, and I think this, yeah, this car, this PNG, it must have some transparency super big around. Okay, but well, to make sure, you can set anchor H and 0.5. Okay, now this is the middle. So I guess if I rotate the car now, it should rotate always from the center of the icon. You see? Yeah, it's rotating always from the center. But if I remove this anchor B, by default is 1. Okay, now if I rotate, you see that, it doesn't really move super good, okay, because the center of the image is not in the middle. Okay, so this happens with markers. Okay, but what if we want to add not markers but circles on the map? Okay, so let's go to a different marker. I'm not sure which one is this, but instead of marker, we're going to use circle. Okay, and for circles, okay, yeah, the thing is we cannot change in real time a marker into a circle. We need to, when creating the marker or when opening the app, if we have a circle, it should be a circle already. So if we close the app, okay, but well, I think there are some cache issues, but I should see a circle somewhere. Yeah, you see? This is my circle, and I can change the radius with a number, and this is the amount of meters. Like, I think if I put like 5 kilometers, is 5,000 meters. Okay, you see now my circle is bigger, and you can also change here the stroke color, the color, and the stroke width. So we can add a color, like color as a string. Well, you can use the RGB code I think, like FF00, this is yellow. Okay, you see? Or you can use colors in your app. Okay, so from here we can use the, for example, I'm not sure if we have a transparent one, but I mean, we could use this as add color dot accent, for example. You see? Now it's taking the color from the color table. Okay, so you should always add here some semi-transparent color. Okay, and you can change the stroke width with a number and use like 8. You see? Or let's make it even bigger, 20. You see? And also the stroke color. Stroke color, and use like add color dot primary, for example. Okay, you see how it changes in real time? Okay, well, now I'm doing this from Firebase, but of course you can do this from the app. Okay, normally, I mean, normally you won't even ever do it from Firebase. I mean, it's supposed to be done from the app when a user clicks or when a user changes location, things like that. Okay, so here, for example, in the onClick, instead of add marker, I could add a circle. I could add here my parameters like radius, let's say 1000. Well, it's in meters, not miles, okay? And I could add some, let me add some color like this teal. I don't know what this means. I'm going to use semi-transparent. Okay. So I'm going to use a color as a color dot teal and stroke radius. Let's do something funny. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Stroke radius, no, stroke width of property dot width, for example. And on the on preload, I'm going to use like set at property dot width. I'm going to start with 5, for example. Okay, so every time I click on the map, I'm going to use this property dot width, but after adding the map, I'm going to increase this value. So you can increase it like doing this. Set at property dot width, and the value is going to be at property dot width dot plus 1. This is a math modifier. I'm not sure if you are aware of this. I think that I have a video on my YouTube channel that talks about the math modifiers. Okay, so you can get the value of a property, then add modifiers like dot, and then plus modifier and the amount. Okay, you could do also dot multiply times 2, for example. Okay, you can do things like this. Okay, so I'm going to add a circle, then increase this property. So next time I add another circle, it's going to be with a bigger stroke. Okay, so let me check this. And well, I think this is pretty much the last example for today. Let's see how it works. Well, no, there's another thing I wanted to talk about. Okay, we didn't talk about the on marker click. So, well, I'm going to do this super quick. Okay, let me install this first. Open, install. Open. Okay, so I think someone added a restaurant in the zero coordinates. Okay, my map is not ready yet. Okay, something's happening with my phone's location, but anyway, I'm here. Okay, so I'm going to click in different points of the map, and you see they are all 1 kilometer, but every time I click on the map, the stroke is getting bigger. So sorry, I clicked right button on my mouse. You see? Oh, it started. Okay, I opened the app again, but you see how every time the stroke is bigger. Well, this is funny. I could spend like 2 hours doing this, but I think I'm going to finish. Okay, but you see, and if you go to Firebase, you see all these new documents. They are all circles with different stroke width. Okay. So finally the last thing. Okay, we didn't talk about this on marker click. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to remove this on click because I don't want to add more circles, but I'm going to use the on marker click. Okay, let's do a super simple example. Okay, so I just want to know whenever the user clicks on a Ingrid, sorry, I didn't see this question. Okay, yeah, can you click louder, please? Um, what do you mean with click louder? Can you elaborate your question, please, Ingrid? Well, I have to say that I haven't checked the chat for some time. Okay, so I'm not sure if this question is regarding this or you made the question before. Okay, so if you can please elaborate your question, I will answer it. Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to explain the last example. Okay, so basically, I have some markers now in my app. They were here, I think. Okay, so whenever I click on a marker, I want to show the location of that marker here on top on the action bar. Okay, for example, I mean, you can use the location of that marker anywhere. Okay, but here on the on marker click, this event will be called anytime the user clicks on a marker. Okay, so you can add functions. Okay, and this is like a list. Since I mean my map is listening to a collection on Firebase, every item or every document on my collection has an ID. These are the IDs. Okay, so this is the same as with lists. I'm not sure if you remember the list component. Okay, whenever the user clicks on a row of a list, then you can get the selected document, right? So maps work the same way. So whenever the user clicks, well, sorry, my phone is frozen now. Okay. Okay, so whenever the user clicks on the map, I can get the position where the user, I can get the position of the marker. I can, no, well, not, I can get the ID of the selected marker. So this is the way you do it. So set at property dot, selected for instance. And how can you get the ID of the selected marker? So this way, you just add element dot my map, the ID of my map, and then select it. Okay, this will give you the ID of the document that the user just tapped. Okay, and now with this property you can do wherever you want. Okay, for example, I'm going to change the title of my action bar. So you want to set what at wrapper, because the action bar it's in the wrapper, you know. So wrapper dot action bar dot title. Okay, so I want to set a new title with the coordinates of the marker. Let's say, since I want to make this like latitude comma longitude. Okay, so how can I get the latitude of the selected marker? So I'm going to look for it on the database. So, well, I'm going to use parentheses because I want to make a replacement, and then add Firebase dot firestore dot my collection, the delivers, and now I need to use the ID of the document. So dot, and for the ID I'm going to use parentheses again and add property dot selected. Okay, so this is going to be the ID of the selected marker, and then dot lat, because you know lat is the name where I'm in the field where I have the latitude. Okay, so I'm going to do the same copy for here for longitude and replace this with longitude. Okay, you see? So here I have the latitude and the longitude of the selected marker. Okay, and this will go to the action bar. Okay, so well, in the meantime, I'm going to, while it generates, I want to show you two apps so you can see how it works. First one is called distance radius. This app is mine. Okay, so if you install this app, okay, here you're going to see how it works, or how you can click on a marker or a circle and then get some. Now I'm in my example, I'm going to use only the action bar. Okay, but once you have this value, the property dot selected, okay, you can do wherever you want. You can show a dialog, something like you see this bar. This is information about the selected marker. You can put things on the screen. You can show a dialog. You can do things like that. Okay. Or for example, in this example, I show information and then I have this remove button. Okay, so I can remove the selected marker because I already know the ID. So after knowing the ID, you can remove it from the database. Okay. And well, still generating. I have another app, but I don't really know the name. No, it's not in this account. Yeah, I have a lot of accounts. Well, this one is also for maps. Well, this one only works in Spain and France. Okay, so here I'm getting diesel and gasoline prices, okay, on a map. But instead of Firebase, I'm using an APA. Okay, but I'm looking for another app. Yeah, this one. Okay, this is similar. I mean, this is made with maps. Well, I'm not using databases, but okay, no, this is different. No, this is. I mean, this is for looking things on the map. Okay, another day I will talk about this. Using this app is using the function address. Okay, so with the function address, you can get a location from an address or from a, I mean, from some text. Like, for example, in this app, the user is looking for Fisherman's Wharf. Okay, so the app can get the latitude and longitude of this text. Okay, so but okay, I thought it was different, but I mean it's also with maps. But I guess we should talk about this function another day, because this is also very powerful function in case you want to create apps for food delivery, or apps where the user needs to set a location or find for an address, things like that. Okay, let's install the app and we will be done for today. Hi, well, Ingrid, I again, you posted a question on the comments, but I'm not sure if you're still there. But I didn't understand. Maybe I already answered, but if you want to elaborate your question, because I don't know what you mean with click louder. Oh, sorry, I'm not showing my phone. Install. Or if you have any other question, Ingrid, if you're still there, because now I'm going to be finished with the webinar, but I can stay here for some minutes if in case you have any question. Well, it's still downloading. Super slow, my phone. Well, in the meantime, I can give you a super short explanation of the function address. The function address, and you can, from this, I mean, here we have the whole location. And I think, oh, I don't remember it. Well, we could save here the property.address. So here with the format parameter, you can say what do you want to use. I think if you use, I'm not sure if it was using parentheses, but you can use address, for example, or you can use country. You can use zip code, no, or CP, or postal code. I mean, these are the default things from Google, or you can use, I mean, you can write wherever you want, but if you see here postal code, it will replace it with a postal code obtained from here. Okay, this is super cool. Okay, let me check if I can show you the app. Oh, it's not installing the app. Okay, maybe, I think I have to scan it again. Hold on. Ah. Okay, I think it's this one. Open. Okay, so well, I have some markers here. So if I click on the marker, you see now how it got the location from that. Well, it centers the app on that marker, I mean the map, but and also it changes this location. You see? Okay, so well, I think this is all for today. I'm sorry it took so long. I mean, almost 2 hours. I mean, it was super long today. I'm sorry for that. But the thing is that this is super interesting. Okay, so I prefer to, I mean, put everything in a video so that you can skip parts. Okay, but today I think we learned super useful things for a lot of different types of apps. Okay, and this is only the beginning. Okay, we learn how to add markers, how to add cars, how to add different things, how to change that on real time. Okay, super cool. Okay, and then there's another thing that you can add. You can add routes. Okay, if you want to do some fitness app or things like that where you want the user to keep, I mean, you want to keep tracking the location of the user and add points on the map. Okay, you can also do that. You can add not only markers here on Firebase, you can add routes. Okay, but we will see that I think in next week, in the next webinar, we will talk about routes and we will talk about jobs, about how to create things on the background while the app is closed, okay? Or not closed, but on the background, okay? So yeah, so thanks everyone for watching. I mean, all the people watching this on YouTube. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you learned a lot today and also in the previous webinars. And I would be really happy if you want to share with us your apps. I mean, if you have started developing apps or if you publish an app on with Codoozer on Google Play, please let us know and we can give you some promotion. Okay, we can tweet about your app and put it as an example. Okay, that way you will get more downloads and you will make more money or more users or whatever you are looking for. Okay, so yeah, please send us your apps, and yeah, and of course if you have any questions, do you have any problem, I mean the APK is not generating, then send us an email to support@doyo, yeah, that's DOYO.email. Okay, and we will answer. Okay, yeah, I think all. That's all for today. So thank you again and see you on the next webinar. Bye.